Hello, I'm back for pickups video 144, don't know, with a 720p face. A bit of advice. Button up. It's probably going to be a long one. There's a big pile of shit, and I do like to refer to my stuff as shit or crap. You know, depending on how I'm feeling, shit or crap. But no, there's a lot of it. I could say I'll probably try and rattle through it, but then judging on past experiences, it never quite works out like that, does it? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of like charity shop stuff, and some not, but a lot, and it all comes sort of individually now. I think. So also the nature of charity shopping has changed irrevocably for a multitude of reasons, and it means that, you know, like back in the day, you might be able to sort of get like a little stack of stuff. I mean, me personally, you know, might have been able to get a little stack of stuff, you know, so then you can all talk about it in one go. But everything seems to come in individually, like bits here and there. It's just the way things seem to go now, you know. So, and every single one needs to be spoken about individually, you know, regardless of how long that makes a pickups video. So, so yeah, so it might take a long time. Like I said, a lot of it's films and games, and something other than a game related, but not a game. And there's a story to go with that as well. I think I'm right. Screw it. Oh, yeah, actually, I was going to say a follow-up to my last video. If anyone watched it, I know some of you did. The 3 mystery packages video. Ooh, getting a bit gloomy. 3 mystery packages video. I've got a system now for the light. I've got a little ceramic rabbit that holds the curtain back, and I just move it up and down. That's actually works quite well. To let if it's looking a bit gloomy, to let a little bit more light in, and it seems to sort of work. I don't know. But, yeah. Follow up to my last video, the 3 mystery packages. They've all gone back with varying degrees of success. The what do we call it? The Red Baron, that went back. I got a free return label for that. The Shattered Dreams went back to one of my local CXs. Shattered Dreams, Shattered Memories. Shattered Dreams, is that like Freudian or something? Is that sort of Shattered Dreams? No, Shattered Memories went back to a local CX. It was slightly awkward because I don't think they really knew what they. I mean, understandably, they didn't know what they stocked. They didn't know they you know, sold 3 copies of the same game, 3 different versions of the same game. And so when I told them what had happened, they had to look it up. And I went, oh yeah, and don't know, it was just slightly awkward. But ultimately, I got my money back plus the delivery costs. But the third one, the bundle. Anybody remembers the bundle in inverted commas? Bundle. Yeah, so obviously that went back. But to twist the knife, Music Magpie made me pay to return it, and not just sort of like bog standard small package. This was like tracked, so it was like £3.35 on a £6 game. And then, so that was a bit of a kick in the nuts. I had to take the hit. And then to make it worse, when I kicked up a fuss in feedback, I was thinking, no, if they're going to make me pay to return it, I'm going to really stick it to them in the feedback. They got it removed. It just disappeared. I did it twice with both games. I think one of them came with the bundle one, obviously, because that was but they deserved it. I gave them a negative. I don't know, I've often given it. I think I've given maybe 1 or 2 in the past. And they had it removed. It just disappeared. Bastards. Whitewashing their reputation. I'll say it again. If you don't want to be called a bastard or a shit or a, worse, don't behave like one. Why is it these people can't take responsibility of their actions? And then with the Red Baron one, I gave them a neutral. I had that removed as well. It's not like there aren't loads of neutrals still on their feedback. There's loads of them, but for some reason they singled me out. Bastards! And it really pissed me off. Talking of things being removed, in my sort of to show my dejection in the last video, I want to show how irritated I was. I left a couple of swear words in my replies to certain comments, and they were removed. Even like abbreviated swear words. The whole comment was moved because it had an abbreviated swear word in it. Like I put in C*****, and that just went. And I couldn't find it. I think, is there some sort of thing some sort of setting that I should change? But no, it's just gone. And it was the same with a couple of comments left on the video. I had to go and find them and approve them. And then they're still not displayed properly. But then with my own replies, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere for them to go because obviously I automatically approve my own replies, don't I, to comments? Because you'd be a bit weird if you didn't approve your own replies to comments. Anyway, so yeah, bit miffed. Jesus, got a dry mouth, and I've only been talking for 7 minutes. Right, screw it. Flims, a little pile here, or more than a little pile. First one, this one shouldn't take too long. This is just an upgrade. A really good film. Children of Men. It's £2.50. I think after I bought this, about a couple of days afterwards, I saw it for about £1. Slightly annoyed me. But this is an upgrade because I really, really like the film. I think I fancied watching it on Amazon or something, or Netflix, and it wasn't available. It wasn't free anyway, so I had to buy it. And and it was obviously when I saw it in charity, I thought, I'm having that. But I love this film because it's an intelligent film, it's an action film, but I love the way the central character is really benign. He's not someone who's going to kick ass. He's just things happen to him rather than him sort of imposing himself on the world. He has no control over his environment or his circumstances. He just basically survives, and that's one of the reasons I really, really like this film. And it also feels like a blueprint for Priti Patel's blueprint for how our country is being run and moulded. Fucking flies just come in. This isn't really an upgrade. This is sort of a different slot. This was in my local charity shop, 50p. It's brand new. Blade Runner 2049. This is one of 4 films I've actually got digital copies of. It was cheaper on Amazon a couple of years ago, and I thought I'd buy this just in case they ever do the dirty, and just sort of take away my ability to watch something I've paid for. They might do. That's a very real threat. So that everybody who takes the decision to buy downloadable or digital content has to live with. And now I've future-proofed myself. Right. These next few are sort of probably keepers. This one in particular is probably a keeper, but they're more punts because I don't really know too much about them. I'm just going by sort of educated guesses. Also, they were cheap, but also I thought they might be worth trading in the future if I ever tire of them. This one is a French film, I think French New Wave by Jean-Luc Godard called Band Apart. It's a French gangster film. Obviously, I haven't watched it because it's sealed, but I thought because it's a British BFI, it might be sort of, worth buying at least a trade in if I decide not to keep it. Turns out it's not, and I'm more and more realising that there's, when you think you've seen sort of like patterns and like sort of certain things to go by and like judgment when you're buying DVDs to trade in, you think, oh, BFI, I love that, that'll be worth a lot, and then no. More and more now, it's only the Blu-rays that are worth having, and even then, it's not like, if this was on a Blu-ray, it'd probably be worth having to trade in. So it's definitely a keeper. But it's a film I'd like to watch. It's a gangster film. It's three youngsters in Paris in the '60s who are planning a bank robbery, apparently. Yeah. And these next two, these were more that probably trading in, although, I wouldn't be too disappointed about keeping them. That fucking fly, it's a big one as well. It's right behind my screen. And it just popped out. It keeps going like this, popping out and then going back again. That's going to really irritate me. It's that time of year when you get just big fat bastard of flies coming in your house. Right, yeah, these are both in the same charity shop. They bought them together. First one, I thought this was sort of basically a sort of a lesson learnt from before, where I thought it was sort of a film along the same lines, and I passed on this film I'd seen before, and it turned out it was sort of about £7 or £8 credit in computer exchange. This one's it's Fellini's La Strada, about to be honest, I don't really know what it's about. No, I do. It's a woman sells her daughter to a circus strongman who's a bit of a shit, and she seeks a sort of solace with this sort of like friendly clown, tight rope walking clown. But it's obviously it's sort of a classic, but not worth much credit, about £1.20 or something. But so yeah, that was that one. This one, I thought that I was more onto a winner here, but not so much. I know less about this one. It's called Arabian Nights. It's by a guy called Pier Paolo Pasolini. Now, I know very little about him other than his reputation. And his reputation, as far as I know, is sort of built on another film called Salo. And you might have seen it in charity before. It's a white case, and it says S-A-L-O, and it's got a little accent above the O, I think. It's called Salo. And I think it's based on a book by the Marquis de Sade called 120 Days of Sodom. And it's basically porn, I think. As far as I don't know, not really, but I've read up about it in the past, and it's about 4 sadistic noblemen during the Second World War who I think, do they sort of take control of a girls' school or something and subject them to like lots of really horrible things, and there are chapters, and one of them something called like 120 Days of Shit or something. It's one of the weirdest things, and I've seen it in the past, and I knew it was worth credit, and I was just too embarrassed because I knew I'd have to buy it, and also then have to trade it in. So there's 2 potential points of embarrassment. So I passed. And I think this one looks a bit more, sedate. Although having looked at it, I'm not going to show you. There are some boobies on the back. I'll whiz it part. There you go. There. But there's a bit of nip on the back. So yeah, and it's an 18. But no, it's not worth having either. See, look, educated guesses don't always work out. I thought this one was a banker, but no, based on the other film. But this one was a banker. This is another weird story, a bit of an odd story. In a charity shop. It's the Harry Potter's years, 1 to 6. First 6 films. Now, this isn't really a keeper, not something I really want to keep, but I do enjoy the films. I'm not too shy. I'm not too proud to say that I do enjoy the films, particularly the later ones. Because I think I've said it in the past. I think the pacing of this series works better as a series than Lord of the Rings does. I just think it, as a body of work, compare that to the 6 sort of Middle-earth films, including The Hobbits. I think these work better. The pacing is way better. And I really, really like the last ones. I'm not sure I've ever seen the first ones because they're slightly different because they're all like little kids, aren't they? But they're more grown up after about the third or fourth film. But yeah, this was sitting on a charity shop shelf, and it was the same charity shop where I bought a copy. It was a sealed copy of 3DS Nintendogs. They had a load, and I just bought one because I didn't know what the price was, and then I had to go to the woman, and she didn't know how much to charge me, so we had a bit of a debate, and she ended up charging me £2, I think. And in the end, I thought, yeah, it's fine. In the end, she charged me extra 50, or asked me, if I wanted to add 50p on top because I was paying my card as a charitable donation. I thought, oh God, begrudgingly. So basically, she got me there. And again, this didn't have a price in it, so I took it to her. She went, £2? I went, yeah, go on then. Oh, was it 250? I think I went 250. Was it 3? I don't think it was 3. But she did the same thing again because I was paying her card. She ended up asking me if I wanted to add 50p on the top. I went, oh God. Yeah. Yeah, all right then. So yeah, I mean, these are good credit. I mean, it's a really tatty box. I'm not going to get rid of it because if I get rid of the box, then I think that negates the value of what's inside the contents because the value is in the sleeve. But this is, I do like I said, I do like watching them. But I would like to watch all 8 in a row. I like the idea of doing it. I'd like to watch all the Marvel films and all the Lord of the Rings films and stuff like that. But I never have. But one day I would like to. It's just weird ambitions I've got. But yeah, I think I ended up paying £3 for this, and I'm still debating what to do with it. But at the time, in the charity shop, there was a woman doing the front display, the window display, and the woman who I was dealing with she got called over to her, and they had a bit of a blah, blah, blah. And then the woman doing the display came out and then walked past me looking a bit narked, as if the manager, who I think the woman who I was dealing with was, hadn't been that happy with her work. And it turned out it was, I've seen her in there before, Kim, from Mel and Kim, who does a shoddy job doing window displays in the cancer research in Palmer's Green. So if you're ever in Palmer's Green, you see the window displays in cancer research. That's the work of Kim, from Mel and Kim from the 80s. Anybody remember Mel and Kim? The old Stock Aitken and Waterman act. And she obviously works there because her sister ended up dying, didn't she? Not obviously works there. She could work there otherwise, but I thought a little downbeat on what I thought was a little weird story there. Downbeat ending, sorry about that. But it's all gone a bit weird, so I think I better move on. Suffice to say, Kim wasn't too happy of having her work critiqued. Right, now, I forgot to mention, really, I've got a big pile of stuff. Really, the really best stuff I've got are films. I think I've done the best when it comes to charity shops. I think, personally. Some traders, others keepers. Some I'm in an iron about. This is a little bundle here. They were £1.50 each, and I went to a charity shop. And they had a big tray of DVDs. And usually, when you see stuff like this, it's things that have come out of Poundland. Like common stuff. But this time, I think there was actually decent stuff in there, and that's quite sort of surprising. First one, Wall-E. Again, this is another film I fancy watching one day, but then I would have had to pay for it on Amazon, and I'm just like, screw that, no. So I bided my time, and now I've got a Blu-ray version of it. And this next one is one of my favourite films ever, so although there's a slight... it's Chinatown, and this sort of brings up the debate about whether or not, can you still enjoy sort of work by discredited creators? I mean, you know, oh bugger. I don't know what happened there. My screen went to sleep. I don't know. Did that record it? Never done that before. That's obviously a new thing with the new operating system. Anyway, yeah. Roman Polanski. He's he's not allowed to go back to America because he's accused of sleeping with a 15-year-old girl or something like that. So this is one of my favourite films, but understandably that would tend to take the edge off of enjoyment of it. But it's like, you know, can you still enjoy Michael Jackson's work? You can sort of superficially, but afterwards it makes you feel a bit dirty. I'm obviously sort of treating. I shouldn't really laugh about this sort of thing. Obviously, considering sort of, you know, considering. I'll probably move on. And the third one, this will probably be a keeper, you know, aside from all that. The third one, I think this is going to be a trader. This is more of another educated guess, and this is a Blu-ray of Robert Bresson's Mouchette. Again, £1.50. They're all £1.50. This is the last one, and a Blu-ray artificial eye. I don't really know much about it. It's a French director, and I think this is about an £8 Blu-ray in credit in CEX. So I think there's what are they called? Who's that bunch who do re-releases of what the fuck are they called? They've got a YouTube channel where people go into their cupboards and basically take Blu-rays off the shelf and will go away with them. Oh fuck's sake! I've got a few of their Blu-rays. Anyway, they've done a version of this. This is obviously by Artificial Eye. It's not Artificial Eye, it's someone else. But yeah, this is probably going to be a trader because it is one I'd like to keep, but I'll probably never get around to it. So yeah, that was a nice little bundle. And this one is probably my best Blu-ray find. Actually, I thought it was £1, but the price says £2. It's just randomly one day in a charity shop, relatively new one that, you know, doesn't tend to have much. Bollocks, sorry. It's Mr. Vampire by it's a Eureka release, Mr. Vampire, and yeah, I think this is a film. I've got loads of films in my head that I remember seeing a long time ago and can't remember the names of them. There's a zombie film that I can just remember certain scenes in it, images of certain scenes. And this is the same. For years I couldn't remember the name of this film. And I looked it up and I'm still not 100% sure, but I think the film I've watched was Mr. Vampire. It's a martial arts sort of Chinese zombie vampire type thing where all the vampire zombies sort of walk around with their arms out like that and hop. And vividly in my head, I remember this one fight scene where in like a morgue, and one of the heroes has got this sort of little prayer sort of scroll, and he can seal the zombie by putting it on the zombie's forehead, and then the villain keeps taking the scroll away. And then that's all part of this sort of this fight. So the vampire keeps waking up and going back to sleep again. But I think this is Mr. Vampire, and this is actually like quite an expensive Blu-ray. But I think the pricier ones have a slipcover. I think there's a slipcover that they think this is probably a newer release because it hasn't got a slipcover, or maybe it did have a slipcover, but someone's nabbed it. But yeah, Mr. Vampire. I'm really, really chuffed because it's so, like I said, I've said in the past, it's so rare when you go into charity shops and you see something that you'd sort of, you genuinely like have been looking for. It just never happens, or rarely happens, and this is one of those instances. Right, for only 5 more films, I'm already 25 minutes in. Bugger. Right, just a random day out while I was doing some shopping. What did I do? I ducked into a charity shop. I forgot what I was going to say. It sounded like I was going to knobbed into a charity shop. Then what the fuck? I can't even imagine what I was going to say. No. Anyway, I ducked into a charity shop, and small one, and they don't usually have much, or they used to, but I think they've not had much for a long time. But they had a cardboard tray, like one of those sort of fruit trays, and they had a whole load of DVDs in it, and they were £4 for £1. I saw 2. I thought, yeah, 2 were definite, like for me. But then I sort of and ahhed. They were going to charge me 50p for 2, or the old guy in there was. But in the end, I thought, no, I'll hunt through and I'll see if I can pick out 2 more. And it was obviously someone who had a sort of a taste in Asian cinema, because this is a trader. Not that it's worth as much as it used to be, but 25p was definitely worth having. Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind. Love this film, but I've already got it. I've got the 2-disc version. I think this is the 1-disc version. Yeah, just the 1-disc version. So that's a trader. So obviously somebody like Japanese cinema in particular. This is a keeper. Not it's worth much, but I love this director. It's Takashi Miike's Dead or Alive. I don't think I've ever seen this one. Probably the most prolific filmmaker alive. I love, like, one of his recent ones, 13 Assassins, is one of my favourite films of recent times. I love it. Don't know too much about it. A lot of them are really dark and gory, but this one looks like it could be Dead or Alive. I don't really know the plot. So yeah, that was that one. Those were the 2 that I'd sort of like decided to make it up to £1 with. This one, I'm not sure I've seen this one. It's called When the Last Sword is Drawn. I don't really know. Yojiro Takita. Going back, in the sort of mid-2000s, one of my favourite films of the time is a film called Twilight Samurai, which I love. And this one is almost sort of like rips off its front cover, so it made me think maybe it's the same sort of thing. And I've got a feeling I might have seen this and I was disappointed by it. I can't say for certain, so I got it just so I could re-watch it to see if it's sort of triggers any memory. But this last one, know very, very, very little about it. I know the director. I'd never seen any of the films, but I know the name and I know his reputation. Again, this was 25p. It's a double pack. It's Eureka Masters of Cinema, number 52 out of 53. It's Ugetsu Monogatari and Oyu-sama, double pack, by Kenji Mizoguchi. And I know he is often mentioned in the sort of circles as the greatest filmmakers ever, particularly in Japan, along with like Otsu and Kurosawa, I suppose. But so obviously this was a no-brainer, and this is just a genuine. It reeks of quality because it's got this whacking great booking like there, and it's got two discs, and it's just like, that's a no-brainer for 25p. And I think this is a keeper, but again, this is sort of like it's at least £8. It might be more than that because this is I think. Even this version, if I sold it on eBay, it was like £22. I think they've sold up for, up to 30, maybe even a little bit more. And I think if there's a Blu-ray version of this, if you can find the Blu-ray version of it, it's worth even more. It's like, nuts. So, and it's just value again makes me question whether I want to keep it. But I think I probably am going to keep it. But that the credit is calling to me. But I won't go into. I think the first one's Ugetsu Monogatari is a ghost film. So I think Oisama's more of a social drama. Not that I'm going to go into. I'm not going to read it because this video is already 30 minutes long, and I've not mentioned any games. Last film. This is the last film, I promise. Was an Amazon purchase. It came with. Actually, I'll show you with what comes next. It came. What else did I get with it? I can't remember what I got. I got some of that film that goes over windows as a draft exclusion. I was hoping I could sort of fashion together some sort of ground mat for one of my tents. I heard it's got good sort of heat retention properties. It's probably just won't do the job at all. But in my head it was only like £4 or something. I thought, yeah. Something else. This Quiet Earth. This is one of those films I saw when I was a youth. I forgot, and sort of years down the line, found out the name of it, and then I think I've got this is an upgrade, but this was every so often. Arrow Video, their films are discounted on Amazon for some reason. You know, all of them go down to about £8, $7.99. And I've wanted this one and a film called Miracle Mile for years, but I plumped for this one just to take my order up to the magical £20. So this is basically one of those sort of Last Man on Earth films. But it's I think it's from New Zealand. Love the last scene. The last scene really stuck in my head. There's videos of it. If you look up the Quiet Earth final scene, yeah. And one of the other things in my little bundle was thanks to a recommendation by Willie Weeble, some box protectors. I thought an excuse to show you my copy of Super Robot Tizen. Some box protectors. They were £4. I just sort of £3.92 for 10. Bargain. And I thought I'd show you because I left a review on the particular listing because I'm really pleased with them. I think they're really good. They're probably not as high quality as robust as probably more expensive ones. I don't really know. I've got not much to compare it to, but yeah, well made. I think the difference between other ones I've seen, this one has a tab there at the top. That tab pops in and out, basically gives it structure. The only problem with that is it's not so easy to get the tab back out. It's a bit fiddly. So you have to sort of like get a knife in underneath it and pop it back out. So, and also the tab might weaken over time if you continue to like fiddle around with it. So yeah, unfortunately I should have done this video earlier because these have now gone up to like £10 or something. There are no longer any cheap options for box protectors on Amazon. So, but yeah. And also, the game inside, there's someone on eBay selling 48 new copies of this for about £700. I'm really tempted. But I don't think there's that much desire for a copy of this game. I think, why not? This is definitely the sort of game that people would end up going mental for and end up being worth a fortune. Because, like, Super Robot Tizen OG Saga on the DS is worth a fortune. But as it is, you know, no one in this country really bothered by it, even though it's got English on the back. And that's, you know, it's English on the back, English and Italian, because obviously it came from Italy. I think that's where the seller comes from, Italy. But yeah, so but we're actually talking about the box protector, and it's a really decent one. I left a review, but it's not long after I left a review, a good review as well, you know, complimentary review. They put the price up. Right. Game stuff. Charity shop's been quite good. All right, probably by that I like the standard of the films better actually, but it's, you know, nothing mind blowing, more sort of decent, some good charity like trading in stuff. I did go into a charity shop that had a shit ton of Master System games in the window. But they're all individually priced, but not massive, not hugely expensive. Sprout a bit in my beard. I need to trim that. But I think that same charity shop in the past, they've had boxed SNES games, so it's obviously someone round there who every now and again trades in a load of old games. Again, they were individually priced, but these, I think these were, maybe, don't think nothing was more than a tenner, but they're all like I said, they're all varied, and I'm not going to list it off. This is what they had. Ignore the one at the bottom, which that was a 360 game. I was looking up the price for, but that's what they had. They all varied probably around about £5 to £10. So, yeah. So it's nice to see, even if you're not buying anything, and it's nice that they're sort of affordable. But obviously they had sort of looked up prices. What was free? This wasn't from a charity shop. A bit of a story with this one. I was out doing my shopping one day in the local town. Walking along the high street, past the bin near KFC. Look down. Ooh, right next to the bin. Something caught my eye, and there was something else next to it. The other thing was, I think it was like a DVD display tin for James Bond 007. It was one of the weird flat ones. It might have been VHS, but in a massive dent on the front. Might be worth having. I don't know. I've not really looked it up, but I thought, no, can't be bothered with that one. But this one was more of a no-brainer. So I screw it. I'm going to get out rather than making you, It's this bastard. This. Sitting next to the bin. So I was like, oh shit! I thought, I can't let that go. It might be literal rubbish, but I can't let it go. So at least look inside. It might just be a box. I was thinking, if it's just a box, I'm not going to bother. So I bent down, opened it up, and it was a massive wrestle. I was just like, couldn't get into it. I was trying not to damage it, and I was there for a good 5 minutes. After a while, I thought, what am I doing with my life? I'm standing on a crowded high street, literally wrestling with rubbish. I'm one of those people who wrestles with rubbish in public, going through the bins in public. So I thought, no, I'm. Do you hear that? That's my poor old senile cat. Just gonna sort him out in the kitchen. No, he's getting old, really old. I had a feeling that might happen, with the door open, and because he's not really allowed in here. Because when I got that sofa, it took him about 2 days to find it and then piss up it. So I thought, no, you're now on your band. But no, he's getting on, and he likes meowing for food, even though there's loads of food there. So sometimes you have to I have to go and like try and trick him into thinking I've just given him food by mixing around the food that's already there. And that's what I did, and he's just sort of sat down. Oh, brilliant! But no, I had a feeling he might come in. It was either that or he would be. I'd hear him having a shit because he doesn't. He uses a tray now, and it's not something you really want to have happen while you're trying to make a YouTube video, because I mean, I don't know if it's because he's getting old, but oh Jesus Christ, they do kick up a bit. Although I've got another cat, one I inherited from the old lady who lives up the road, who does literally the smelliest shits you've ever smelled. Literally the smelliest thing I've ever smelled was one of these cat shits. I swear on my life, because she was sort of usually sleeps outside. Sometimes usually goes out at night. But on this one occasion, she was inside, and she was in the kitchen, and I just sort of. She had everything she wanted in the kitchen, so I sort of closed the door so she didn't sort of go roaming around the house because it would give her access to, whatever. And she'd sort of like done a shit overnight. And like, I kid you not, this thing somehow seeped through the door, upstairs, through my bedroom door, and into my dreams. And I dreamt about something. It informed what I was dreaming of. I can't really remember the dream, but I knew that was because of what it was. It woke me up. I thought, oh, Jesus Christ, what's that? And I had to go downstairs. It's not really what you want to do when you've just woken up, is it? Sort out smelly cat shit. But anyway, I don't know how I got... Oh, that was the cat, wasn't it? Yeah. So I was, I decided against continuing to dig through that, trying to open it up, see what was inside. Went and did my shopping and thought, look, I can't let it go. On the way back, I'll go past. If it's still there, I'll have it, and then I'll go and look through it on the way when I'm at home. So I did that, and it was still there. I picked it up, got home, and what should usually is in there. It should be. He's going to start me out in a minute. I know he is. Steel book, a book, the game, and a statue, and some DLC. It's only the statue. I don't know if you see that statue there. It's massive. It's huge. But that's what's in there. And the box itself, not bad nick. I had to glue that side. It didn't really take very well there, but it took at the bottom better. But yeah, actual rubbish. But it's been spoken for, and it's gonna. Whoever the person, it's Murray. Murray's having it. I've got to send it to Holland. God knows how the sort of import's going to work with that, and after post Brexit, God knows. But yeah, but that's where it's going, and I've got a nice box for it. I've already sorted out the box, and it has been sitting in the box. I unpacked it just so I could show it in a video. So now showing it in a video, Harry can have it. So yeah, just got to pay the postage because I think it's a lot more than it used to be, isn't it? Anyway, right. Games. I'm going to get these DVDs out of the way. Yeah. Shuffle in. Have a drink. Games. Oh, this first one, it's cash converters. It's one and only cash converters purchase. It's a bit of an incident with this. Nothing to do with me. I was just a witness to it. Wii Sports. Now, this particular branch of cash converters, like most of them now, price things individually, but somehow slip through the net. That's why I don't like when people generalise about places like computer exchange, charity shops, and cash converters, because by nature they're all so chaotic. Something's always going to slip through the net, But people love to generalise and they love to bitch, but they're missing out. And the people who go to charity shops a lot, like myself and other people, they're the ones who obviously you can go to charity shops and you'll see nothing for months, but every so often, if you're persistent, you'll see something. And I've not seen anything in a cash converter for months, but then I've sort of got this. And this is bizarre how much credit this is worth. Don't get it, because they're everywhere. But this is definitely a trader, because I've got the little cardboard version which came with my console. So yeah, when I was paying for that in cash converters, obviously, it was who was the manager? Pardon me, excuse me. I think it was the manager dealing with me, and while he was, I think there was him and a shop assistant. While he was running me through the till, or whatever the term is, this young bloke came in. Didn't have a mask on. I had my mask on, but this young bloke didn't have a mask on. He was like probably early 20s. And the shop assistant politely said, "Could you put a mask on if you want to come in the shop?" And he just sort of smiled, and then left. Obviously, he didn't have a mask. And before before I'd finished paying for this, an old bloke came in. And the same thing happened. He didn't have a mask. And the young shop assistant said, again politely, would you mind putting a mask on if you want to come in the shop? But this guy didn't leave. The old guy didn't leave. He just sort of started, he got a bit narky and he started grumbling. And what did he say? He said, oh, we're a country, we've got 66 million people in this country and only 130,000 have died. And then he said, oh, people, they love to do what they're told, don't they? Like this. And then he left. And I could see the manager who was dealing with me was getting really angry. And when the old guy left, he started sort of letting off steam, talking about, like these people, they don't get it, and they love to, And for whatever reason, his mother had died, like last year. This is going back. Oh, I've got a receipt. What receipt? The date on the receipt is 23rd June. So yeah. So his mum had died last year sometime, and it sort of made me think: how must it feel for him, where his loved one has passed away, to have this old man come in and basically tell him that his mother's life was a statistic and wasn't worth him, wasn't really worth anything. Basically saying that this man was lying or his mother was faking, and it was all part of a hoax. And the doctors who dealt with her before she died, they were part of a hoax. How must that feel? I mean, I blew my mind how restrained he must have been. If that was me, if my mother had died, and then someone came in and told me that she was just a statistic, her life wasn't really worth much, and I shouldn't really take, precautions. I shouldn't be told what I can do. I shouldn't have to change the way I live to literally save people. And I would have actually gone apeshit. But no, how must it feel? I mean, I think people who propagate these ideas of that it's a hoax, either they have to shut off the fact that there are actually people who have, experienced loss or have died themselves, or just in a pure state of denial about it. There's one bloke who keeps popping up on my videos and saying the whole thing's a hoax. He was the last commenter on my previous video, or one before last, and the first commenter on my last video. So I think I might have, I wouldn't be surprised if he's watched this far. He might comment on this one, probably saying it's a hoax. But I know there are people out there who believe it's a hoax and things like that. But what do those people say to the people who have lost loved ones? How do you maybe they try and avoid them so they don't have to deal with that because it challenges it's too challenging. I don't know, but it wound me up. But I probably wasn't a fraction as wound up as the man in the shop. But anyway, it's yeah, I just didn't get it. Anyway, right, moving on. Charity shop stuff. Again, like I said, everything comes generally in bits and bobs, never big piles of stuff. This is a one-off. This is a trader, I think. Yeah, this is a trader. Haven't got a Vita. Modern Nation Races for £2. I think this is about £5. It'll give me £5 credit. So, yeah, I think this is the first sort of Vita game I've seen in a charity shop, maybe ever. I don't know, or at least there might have been the odd one or two sports games, but so yeah, £2. while I was in there paying for it, there was this bloke came in. He was going up and down the sort of like the area where I was, trying to sell stuff to all the charity shops and getting really pissed off. And they were going, "But no, we're a charity shop. We don't buy things." And every time he got sent away, I heard him grumbling, like swearing at them, swearing to himself. But you know, a couple of months ago, my nieces came round, and they love charity shops, and it's made me so proud. They love charity shops, and they love video games. They've got a Switch. I've got a Switch. They've got a Switch. I bought them Untitled Goose Game for Christmas, I think, or a birthday. Can't remember. Maybe Christmas. But yeah. So when they came to stay, they stayed overnight. We went around some charity shops and got some ice cream, and it was brilliant. Yeah. And they bought some stuff, and while I was in there, I thought I'd have a sneaky look at some, you know. And this was in I think this is 2 for £1, Coded Arms. Probably a keeper because it's only 50p, but it's like an arena FPS. Don't really know. I don't know how FPSs work. I'd never played an FPS on the PSP. I don't know quite how they work, just with the little analog slider thing. But yeah, that was 50p. I got this. The other thing was a steelbook copy of Scarface on a PS2. I've since traded it in. I traded in a load of stuff and got about 280 quid. Those two Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they were the bulk of it. But yeah, I traded that in. It was a steel copy, the tin copy of should have been the special edition of Scarface, but the girl behind the counter, or the two of them, they had a bit of debate about what they would put it through as, and because it didn't have any extra bits, and it didn't have the slipcover. That was the killer. Didn't have the slipcover, so they put it through as a standard edition, but it's got the manual and stuff, but it's just not got the slipcover. So if you go to High Barnet CEX, they've got this special edition or limited edition or collector's edition version of Scarface on the PS2 for the price of the standard one. So a little tip. But you will need a slipcover. So there was that. Yeah, I got that with that. But that's since gone. I kept Coded Arms. This is just a random game that I've wanted for a long time. I think the packaging really does it a disservice. Field Commander. Basically, I think it's a less cartoony Advance Wars. I think if you enjoyed Advance Wars, you'll probably like this. And it's not an expensive game. I think £1 is probably how much it's worth in Computer Exchange. It's one of those ones I've always sort of intended to buy and never got round to. And I thought, hang on, yeah, I've always meant to get that, and saw it in a charity shop. And yeah, £1, right. This one, yeah, another charity shop somewhere else. Details. Oh yeah, they're on holiday next door. That's why I'm doing this now. One of the reasons why. It's been brilliant. No noise for about 3 or 4 days. I'm loving it. Yeah, this might be a thing. Standard of these, they're not sort of mind blowing, and this is more of the same. This is, well, yeah, it might be a bit of a, worth a punt, but nothing more. Death Junior. I vaguely remember it being in a Metal Jesus Hidden Gems video, but I might be totally wrong. I don't know, but obviously it's an American version. I think I'll probably swap out the case for this actually, because I've got a copy of Jeanne d'Arc with a dodgy case. So, but I think this is worth keeping. Not that I could trade it in, because obviously it's an American version, but it looks like something that should be good. Again, it's only £1, so I'm not losing much if it's not good. This one is more of a trader. I'm not sure I can though. It's steelbook version of WW2K19 or WWE 2K19. I've got a feeling this steelbook came with another special edition, and it was just like an option, and you could swap it out because there's no. It's got all the bits inside, including my receipt, but no barcode. So they should take it, shouldn't they? It's worth trading in. It's like 3 or 4 quid or something. that's from the same place. I've got those together. So two punts. I can't remember whether this was a Oxfam. Don't often get stuff in Oxfam anymore. I don't know why. Just games in Oxfam. Actually, there's a few here. There's some more. So I'll take that back. There's a few from Oxfam. Sealed Blaze Blue, Continuum Shift. Not a game I had. So yeah, not worth much more than £1 I paid, or 99p. But I don't have many fighters on 360. This again, another one that I didn't have. It's not really on my radar, but I knew of it. I think it had been mentioned. I'd seen it mentioned. I think it was one of Sick Cooper's videos. You know, he got it traded in, and I might have mentioned something about it. But this is a few days ago. Divinity 2, the Dragon Knight Saga, meant to be good. Again, not really on my radar, even though it's my sort of game. Didn't have a price on it, and I asked the guy, and he went. He just randomly said £2. He was getting prices off the top of his head because I had this really flash-looking box of Technic Lego. I think it was like a JCB or something, or a forklift. And I was thinking, oh, I've got to ask how much this is. And in the end, he goes, oh, I think he was going to ask for £100. I thought, okay, yeah, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, Divinity 2. I think a lot of this stuff I've got is still a fuckload more. I think it must be about 50 minutes now, if it's not longer. A lot of this stuff, it's more sort of. I don't really have filler. Some people have filler. I don't really have filler. I've got games I'm more like. All my games I'm going to play, but some I'm more like to play than others. So you know, I'll get to some eventually. I'm more. Anyway, yeah, this is probably. There's a few of these will qualify in that bracket. Godfather, again, there's only £1. It's supposed to be good, isn't it? Love the film, but which is when we got that? Palmer's. Oh yeah. Oh, I remember now. Yeah, I remember now. Remember, I got it. Yeah, just randomly on its own for £1. It's meant to be good, isn't it? I don't know. This one was sort of a bit more of a punt. Got talking to some random oddball in a charity shop when we were both talking about games. I forgot what he was telling me. He was telling me how much he'd paid for something, like a PS4 or whatever, I don't know. And he saw I was buying this. I can't remember what he said. Gunfighter 2. Again, this is a bit of a punt. I thought this might be like. Sort of like a cowboy version of Lethal Enforcers, or the one with sort of digitised graphics, but it's not. It looks a bit like Time Crisis because it has sort of like a cover mechanism, a cover mechanic. But I thought this was worth more than it was. I thought this was. I remember I saw it. Is this worth? Have I seen this sort of going for a bit? No, I haven't. But it's probably a keeper. But again, it's sort of. I like the idea that my PS2 collection, PS1 collection in particular, generally all of my sort of collections of different games have quite a high sort of average quality. Like, is it mean quality? Is that what it is? Mean, median, and mode. Mean as in average. And just the only reason I wouldn't keep these is because they sort of take that down slightly. Maybe I'm doing them a disservice. There's another one. Actually, this. I'll do these two together. This is another one, but I think this is probably more of a no-brainer. Again, was that £2? That's not. Again, I thought it might be a bit worth a bit, but I don't have many driving games on the PS2. So, and it was a really nice nick, apart from a bit of sun damage there. But, yeah, this was in a charity shop. They look up their prices on Computer Exchange, and they had a good selection. And actually, to be fair, the prices were better. They were almost like take computer exchange prices and take them down a notch, and then they write on the price label, will cost you so much in computer exchange. Like there was a Mario Party on the Wii, and which was a sort of eight. They wanted £8 and CEX over for 10, something like that. But, yeah. Now this one's weird. I don't really know what it is. I was trying to get inside it because it was taped down, and the woman in the shop let me untape it. She did it for me, and I had a look inside and thought, don't really know what that is. And I told her, and we both had a look at it, and in the end I said, it's only £1. And it is. I couldn't work out if it's like a bootleg or what. It's Lone Survivor. It's all weird because it's all done like a PS2 game. It's Lone Survivor, and I thought this was like a PS4 game. It's got that. It's got I don't know. It's just odd. It's got that on the side like a PAL PS2 game. It's got an American thing. It was only £1. And then opening it up, it's got that on it. It's got a disc. And I looked at the disc and thought, does that look like a bootleg? So it got a little, yeah, I don't know. It looks like a rewritable disc, or like a. But it says Lone Survivor's Director's Cut. This press CD includes the full press kit, trailer, and soundtrack for the game. To register a review copy of the game on the PS3 and PS Vita, please use the code below. There ain't no code. I see no code. But I haven't hooked up my PS3 since, I had the decorating done, so I've not tried it. But I thought it's not really much of a loss if it's not really anything, just to try. Would this work on my PS3? I don't know. What was it? The trailer sound. Is that it? Trailer and soundtrack. But there's no. That's the thing. There's no code. I think maybe had somebody downloaded the game and just sort of taken this sleeve from somewhere and cobbled it together on Photoshop. I don't know, to make it look like a copy of the game. DVD-ROM. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, right, next. There's me talking down Oxfam and unfairly because these are all from Oxfam. They were 3 games. I can hear my cat being sad in the kitchen. He's doing that, making that noise again. I'll soldier on. I'll try and ignore him, block him out, and then I'll go and talk to him afterwards. I promise. 3 games. I took them to the counter because they didn't have prices, and the guy went £2. So what's that? 66.6p each. Grand Theft Auto 5. No manual or anything, but both discs. That's got 2 discs. So for 66 whatever p, probably worth trading in. This one's a weird one. Definitely no brainer. Battlefront 2. It might even be better than my copy. It's not bad. Not in bad nick. But the price of this has gone right down. This used to be, worth quite a bit. Definitely as trade and on eBay. Really like the game. Great game. I've played it myself. It's one of the Xbox games I have played. But no, it won't get you much at all now. I mean, why is that? It's not like it's been. Has it been sort of re-released on sort of, on the Xbox Live Arcade or whatever it is they have now? Don't know. Has it? For whatever reason, this used to be like a £20 game, but it's at least half that, I think. But you'll still get me £4 credit. And this one, definitely no-brainer. Tomb Age Legend. So this is, I don't know, another £8 credit or something. So yeah. Right. Nearly there. Last 2 charity shop games. Bit of a no-brainer. This is in disc and manual only. It's Spyro Year of the Dragon. I think it's my last proper pickups video. I had an eBay eBay bundle of manuals because I needed the Karushi manual and that was in it. So I bought all the other stuff in it. And in that was a case, sleeve and manual of Spyro Year of the Dragon. So now I can put this disc into that, take the best manual out, and then trade the other bits into a computer exchange. So yeah, more credit. It's all about accruing credit. So for stuff I really want, and then I'll have probably a better manual to stick on eBay or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, that was nice. And this one, this was again another no-brainer. Crash Bandicoot. This is an odd one. This was in the branch of cancer research. This was £1, by the way. This is in the branch of cancer research. When years ago I got my my copy of In the Hunt for £1. And you always expect, when you get a good find on that in a charity shop, you always expect that same charity shop's going to keep paying out, but it never works out like that. And this one in particular hasn't really had much for years, but this is probably the first time it's had anything in a while. So yeah, it's all in there, but also had a couple of extras, including a manual for Grand Theft Auto 2, and a shitty case, and the manual and disc for All-Star Racing. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Then I found out it's is it a Midas game? Yeah, I think it's a Midas game, isn't it? So maybe not so interesting when I found out it was a Midas game. So yeah, that was all right. Not bad for £1. Trade in the Crash Bandicoot. Right, CEX purchases, some with actual cash. Couple of little games I've always wanted that were cheap. You know, not fillers by any stretch of the imagination, but games I've always been interested in, but had been up until now missing from my collection. Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon. I've got the other two on the 360, and this is the last one. So yeah, and the guy served me in it was the Palmer's Green CEX. He didn't really know what Earth Defense Force was, and I had to educate him. And he's like, oh yeah, because they're actually good in that branch. Some computer exchanges, they all have a sort of level of knowledge, but in this particular one, they all seem to be collectors, and they're all. I've spoken in the past, and one of them's got like a collection of Japanese shooters and stuff like that. So they really know their shit, and also when I bought this, I think he's more of a manager than the guy I was dealing with was. He had a look at it, looked at the disc, and ran it through the disc resurfacers. So they'll always do that as standard, which is really, really, really appreciated. When I was trading in all that stuff that I got this because I knew it was in there. Big Bang Mini. This is another one. This is meant to be a hidden gem. I hate that term. I always like wince every time I use it myself, but there's not really much of an alternative. But it's meant to be really good. Big Bang Mini, only £3. 3 games here that I got really, really pissed off because I was trying to spend my credit on stuff and couldn't. And again, I've still got about. Now I've got that refund for Shattered Memories. I've still got about £410, and I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for stuff. There's a whole load of expensive 3DS games because they were selling cheap on eBay, and basically people have bought them all up and just stuck them into Computer Exchange for probably cash, because Computer Exchange will give you £66 cash, and they were going for £50 on eBay. So someone's bought like 10 copies and made £160. They shelled out 500, but then got 660 back. But I'm still can't be, I'm hoping the price will come down because they've got so many copies. But yeah, this is a game I've been after for a long time. It's one of the games that was in Argos, but I missed out on that one, didn't I? And then the price in Computer Exchange, after all the people had done all their bits and traded all their stuff in, went as low as £8, but still hoping to go lower. And in the end, the price on eBay started creeping back up, so I thought, screw it. And I ended up paying £12 on in Computer Exchange for Bravely Second. £12 in credit. Bravely Second. Yeah, Bravely Second end layer. Yeah. And these two, I thought these two were sort of good, pretty good quality Wii games that were in the same run at the same time. I thought, I'd screw it, I'll drop £50 in my credit. No More Heroes 2, which is quite a sought after Wii game. And I probably bought this at the wrong time because it's been re-released on another format, and it's probably artificially boosted the value of this one. It's Skyward Sword for £20 again, £20, and it's all in really nice. And it's got, even though it says without no orchestral CD, it does have the CD. That's just something CX2. So yeah, great. Last three. Yeah, I think nowadays it's really tough to get a proper bona fide bargain on eBay. I think I mentioned in the last video, there was a time when if you could see something on eBay and you go, oh, as long as you sort of, you buy it really quickly, and it would, it would turn out when it would they'd ship it, and it's brilliant. But nowadays it's just rare. It happens rarely because there's always a catch. Like I think I mentioned it's either like someone's mispriced it, or someone gets there first, or it's a scam or something like that. I think you're more likely to get bargains on Amazon now. You do have to deal with Amazon. Not everybody's cup of tea, but I think you're more likely to get bargains on Amazon. This is one of them, sold by Amazon themselves. That sort of buys into that whole sort of bringing the average quality of my PS2 collection down. But I thought it's worth a go. It's worth a go, and it was basically I'd had it in my watch list for a long time, and then they'd sort of taken the price down to half price, and it had been about, or less than half price. It had been about £10, and it came down to just under. It was £3.92 for Shogun's Blade. But as you can see, it came from Italy. It's basically just sort of a Dynasty Warriors rip-off, and not a very good game. I think I probably could get most my money back in credit if I traded it in. I'm still undecided, but I probably will keep, because I went through the hassle of ordering it. This one was one of those We Buy Books or something. We Buy Books on Amazon, and often their prices are good. And this is a PSP game, better quality. This was a PSP game that back when, does anyone remember That's Entertainment before Music Magpie? I think before Music Magpie, they were That's Entertainment, and then they were affiliated with Overstocks or Zovastocks on Amazon. It's just random all over the place. Back then, I ordered a PSP game, and it turns up, and it had the right case, but the wrong UMD in it. It had not bad still. Disgaea 2, still not bad. It's getting a bit gloomy now, isn't it? Oh, shit. I'll be quick. So for a long time, I've just been keeping it out. It's not a massively expensive PSP game. I've been keeping it out for just a basic random UMD to stick in the case. In the end, I saw this, and it was randomly £6.92 in total. It's £4.99 plus a bit of postage, I think. £2.3 or whatever. And it's Dissidia Duodecim, Dissidia 012 Duodecim Legacy Edition, and which comes with all these cards. And apparently, this is a special cover. And didn't have the manual, but I had the manual for the other one, so it all worked out. And so I think this is not a massively expensive version of this game, but I do remember finding it difficult to get a basic UMD of the game just to stick in my in the other case. So, but now I've got the manual, And now basically I've got a random spare case for this, sort of the standard version of this game. Yeah, Legacy Edition. So I think this is probably sort of a £10–15 sort of version of this game, or maybe a bit more. Don't know. I thought, yeah, why not? I mean, it was £4.99. I was thinking, even if it's just the UMD, that's basic. I would have paid £4.99 just for the basic UMD. And this one's probably the biggest bargain of this whole lot, game-wise. Where the fuck was this? I can't remember where this is from. This might have been Music Magpie. This might have been, a Music Magpie purchase via Amazon. I think it was. And it was, what was it? It was a bargain anyway. Room Factory 2, US version. Room Factory 2. I had a feeling it was going to be a US version, and it was, but I'm not that bothered. And how much is this worth now? It's definitely worth more than, I think this was about 12 quid in total I paid, but yeah. Oh, bloody hell. This is going to be about an hour and 10 minutes long. What with interruptions. My cat, I better go and release him from his incarceration. That was what I was going to mention in my last pickups video. I was going to mention, talking of Amazon purchases, I ordered something probably going back to the beginning of the year on Amazon because I needed to top up an order to over the 20 quid threshold. And I saw this thing, a bit of a no-brainer, but it was in that sort of out of stock, but we are going to be getting some more in. So I put that into my order and ordered the other thing. The other thing turned up, and this never came back in stock. And obviously it's been out of stock for about 7 or 8 months or whatever it is now. And it's now gone to the status of we probably won't get this back in. They might do, but they probably won't. And I'm wondering how long. I'm looking for advice here. How long should I wait before I cancel my order? Because basically I got free postage for if I cancel this order, I'll get free postage. So not like I've totally lost out. But the game was Sigma Star Saga, brand new on the Game Boy Advance. It's a way forward game. It's like an action RPG crossed with a shooter, like a side-scrolling shooter. So it's like a really interesting concept. Not much else like it. So definitely worth. Chances are it's never going to come back in stock. But I was wondering how long do people think I should wait, considering it's been about 6, 7, 8 months or so. Well, I'm guessing we're probably about an hour and a quarter now. Ooh. That might even be breaking my record, but judging by the big pile of stuff, I guessed it was going to get to that. But so I won't blather along any longer. Can let you all go, and hopefully this hasn't been too much of a chore or a hardship. Can let you go. Cheers for watching. I'll let you go and look out for more videos. Bye.